My next guest is a semi-regular on the James Show. Leigh Richardson from the Brain Performance Center over there by the airport. Think about you every time I drive by now. But, Leigh, when you see a story like this guy had a mental health episode, it sounds like. He's had some mental health issues before. He ended his life last night. This sounds so illogical to those of us who aren't adjacent or had depression, because, how could you be depressed? You're a Dallas Cowboy. You just scored a touchdown. You're a millionaire. You're famous. You have the body of an athlete. Explain to the rest of us how someone, even in that prestigious and awesome lifestyle, could be depressed.
Well, it's really hard because for an athlete, their core identity is what they do for their profession. And he had just hit the top goal. He scored a touchdown. So the question comes to his mind, how do I maintain that certain image? What if I can't? And the Cowboys have the defense. There's been a lot of conversation around that. So I think that plays into it. And there's so much secrecy and stigma. When you are a professional performer, you've got to hide your struggles. You can't appear weak. And what he has experienced, anxiety or depression before, and you put performance pressure on top of that, and it takes it through the roof.
I guess so. Now, when you see this, is this something that could be just regular old run-of-the-mill depression? Or is this maybe, I know this is baseless speculation, but that's all we have to work with right now. Is this regular depression that could have been inflamed by concussions and the repeated blows to the head and the CTE issues that have been plaguing the NFL? Do we even know if that's playing into it yet?
I would say absolutely, because anytime you've had a TBI, or chronic pain, his chronic pain may stay up from the level of training that he does. He may be sleep deprived because of the intense physical demands, and all of that it creates vulnerability. And once that vulnerability is there, then you're more apt to respond impulsively. And certainly he had the general signs of being suicidal, feeling hopeless, feeling like maybe perhaps he's a burden to others, maybe increased substance use, isolating, sleeping too much, not enough, mood swings. But on top of that, you add in the performance pressure, you add in the physical and the mental illness piece of it. And that really does put all performers, and their risk factors they're not really totally understood.
Oh, totally agree. Well, one of the takeaways from talking to other guests and people who've called in is if you're having any sort of issue about this, ignore the stigma about getting help for your mental health and get some help.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask for help. And for people family members, friends, don't be afraid to ask, do you need some help? What can I do to help you?
Agreed. All right, Leigh Richardson, if someone needs help, where do they start?
They start with their family and their friends. They reach out. They see who they have as a support system. There's also a hotline, 288, and it's a different hotline than 911. It'll go into a trained professional that can, if you're having those suicidal thoughts, reach out and talk to somebody that can give you some strong guidance.
Leigh Richardson, thank you for your help on the James Show. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You can find her work at the Brain Performance Center here locally.